This is how you can get your first chin up and your first pull up in 4 simple steps. So this is how I teach all my clients how to get their first chin up and their first pull up. And I wish I had this when I was younger, so you can get yours now faster from my mistakes. So I'm going to give you 4 phases and 4 stages. Make sure you watch each of these very carefully because I'm going to give you a goal to reach on every single one before you can move to the next stage. So the equipment you're going to need, you're either going to need a towel, which you can attach to and hang as well, or a suspension trainer, or even ring rows. So for the first exercise, we're going to do a high inverted row. This is the easiest stage, and maybe for the majority of you here, you could skip it, but still practice this movement because it's going to give you really good habits moving forward to the next phases. With this exercise here, you want to make sure your body is nice and straight, so squeeze your bum, squeeze your tummy muscles in, and lock those shoulders as well. Have your feet nice and close to the base of support, and have your arms nice and straight too. We want to make sure you practice good full range of motion. With this exercise, you're going to pull your elbows nice and close and past your ribs. This is going to help you activate those lats as well as those arms to help you get stronger moving forward. In this phase here, I want you to be able to hit 3 sets of 20 to 30 reps before you move on to the next one. It might be really simple, but for some of you out there, this is a great stage to practice. Just don't rush this phase. Now before we move forward, when you're doing these exercises, aim to do this 3 times per week. I highly recommend Monday, Wednesday, and Friday so your body doesn't get too sore and so you can actually practice it effectively before you move on to your next day. Now phase 2 is going to be where we're going to start really building up more strength and more muscle. And we're going to do this by moving a little bit lower each time. You're going to find an angle which is going to be really comfortable for you. And we want to try to aim for 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps. So here's a little thing I want you to focus on, and that's to squeeze the muscles with control. I don't want you bouncing up and down because this is going to give you bad habits moving forward, and then you'll have to start all over again. So try and do it right from the start, and if you're unsure, record yourself and just double check it. Now before we move on to the next stage, I have a question for you. Do you know what the difference is between a chin-up and a pull-up? Comment down below and I'll tell you the answer at the end. So now the exercise is going to start looking a little bit different. It looks like a real chin-up and a real pull-up now. We're going to change the angle by having the hips below our ring row and our feet close to us. Now you are going to use your feet a little bit to push you up, but we don't want this to be a leg exercise. We're just using it enough so we can feel the lats work. The way that we're going to pull this now is the elbows are now going to go down towards the floor instead of past our ribs. This way, we're going to actually target the lat muscles more effectively for our chin up and our pull up. Now in this exercise, make sure your hips don't push forward. You want to keep them nice and low. This is a different exercise to the inverted rows. Now things are going to get a little bit spicy. We're going to add a band to help you get into a full chin up and a full pull up. The band you're going to use is something that you can get between 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps with good form and good technique. The thicker the band is, the easier it makes it. The thinner the band makes it a little bit harder because now you're using more of your own body weight as resistance. The tip here is to not bounce. You want to make sure you squeeze the top for 1 to 2 seconds and still focusing on pulling the elbows downwards towards the floor. This is now the last phase, where you have to take a bit of a leap of faith. Every now and then you're just going to try and see if you can pull yourself all the way up. If you can't, that's okay. Grab the band and keep practicing. I highly recommend that you still do exercises like the supported high ring chin up because this is going to help you build muscle moving on to the next phase. By the way, did you know the difference between a chin up and a pull up? A chin up is when the palms are facing towards you, and a pull up is when the palms are facing away from you. This changes the muscles that we're using. So I always recommend people go with the palms facing towards your face if you're doing it for the first time. This recruits more biceps so that you can actually get all the way up. When you're doing the pull-up, your palms are facing forward. This puts more emphasis on the lat muscles and less on the biceps. For all beginners, no matter where you are in the chin-up or the pull-up, I still recommend that you go with a shoulder width grip before you start to go wider. This way you're recruiting the stronger muscles to be able to move you on to the next exercise. Now, if you liked that exercise, this is one of my favorite bodyweight based exercises. And I recommend that you watch the next video on how to do dips, which is another exercise I highly recommend if you're looking to master body weight. This also helps you get bigger triceps and bigger chest muscles. So click that video and I'll see you there.